this is Rambling. In this video, I'm going to be doing embroidery while rambling. This is not an instructional video on embroidery. Techniques may or may not be correct. In this video, I'm working on making a frog clown because although human clowns can be a little bit disturbing, I'm sorry if you're working as a clown, but animal clowns, cute. They're very cute. So, making a frog clown. I can't decide between whether I should make him standing or sitting down, so I'll just figure that out the next time I'm working on it when I'm working on his legs. Now on to rambling. It is soon time for the mosquito wars because the weather is becoming warmer. I'm noticing little horrible little mosquitoes flying around, and I already got bit, and every summer, almost every summer, they always destroy my legs and ankle and feet, and often those mosquito bites turn into like humongous. It's like it makes my leg swell up like a balloon, and then it looks like I have one hot dog foot and one normal foot. And I remember one time I got bit on my arm, and then there was like a weird red, you know how it turns like red around it? But for some reason, it started to develop like a red streak line that was like starting to go up my arm, and I was like, oh, was that mosquito carrying a disease and now it's gonna infect me? And I'm gonna have to go to the hospital? But eventually that weird red streak stopped moving up my arm, and then it just disappeared, so it was nothing to worry about. But it's so interesting because there's some people that never get bit, and then there's some people where they are a mosquito feast. Are you somebody who gets bitten a lot, or you're fairly safe from the mosquitoes? And then I'm also conflicted about them because I kill them and I hate their guts, but at the same time I know they play a role in the human life cycle. Human life cycle? Not the human life cycle. In the nature. They play a role in nature. Imagine how chaotic it would be if mosquitoes were playing a role in the human life cycle, and it's like you need to be killed by a mosquito in order to die. I don't know how a mosquito would be part of a human life cycle, but that sounds like a very, very interesting, very interesting story. But anyways, every time it becomes mosquito season, I feel like I'm always Googling how to deter them. And then I remember one time I bought lavender oil, but then right after I used it, I just got bit, so, you know. And then, like, during those summers where I get bit a lot, and then it starts to make me, like, fearful. I don't know if you feel this way, whoever's listening, but it's like, do you ever get, like, scared and you start to become paranoid? Like, oh my god, I'm gonna get bit by a mosquito because of how horrible it is to get bit. And then so when it's time to sleep, it's like it would be so hot, but then I would still have a blanket covering me because I don't want my legs to be bit. But then it's like you're in an oven, and then because you're cooking in the oven, you're not gonna fall asleep. So it's a constant battle against them. I remember during those times where I'm like under my blanket, I would be just thinking to myself, oh, should I get like a giant net that just like surrounds the bed so they can't come in? But I never got one, so. And moving on from the mosquitoes, something related to my pelvic floor therapy, blah blah blah. If you had watched my previous videos, I did 2 other videos, I had kind of mentioned that the PT, she didn't really give me that many stretches and exercises to do, which I think is kind of weird because if you're going to a physical therapy session, shouldn't you be doing movement? But I kind of wondered, like, oh, is she like withholding information from me? So I have to pay more money for more sessions? Or is she only teaching me like barely anything each time because she doesn't trust her clients to do their homework? Like maybe she had clients in the past where it's like she would assign them a bunch of stuff, but they didn't do it. Like they were not being disciplined about their homework, so maybe she gives them barely anything. But anyways, because she didn't give me that many stretches and exercises, I looked up some on YouTube, and I found like I think it was a Swedish lady where she had some exercises, like stretches for the pelvic floor. She's called, I think, Flower Empowered or Empower Your Flower or something. I'll leave a link in the description. Oh, and also the lady, she talked about the bladder things that I heard from the actual PT session I went to. So it's nice to know that the information matches between the PT and then like this random lady I found on YouTube. But anyways, so I was doing some of the exercises from her channel, and one of them she mentioned is like where you get like a ball and then you sit on it, and then you're supposed to like have the ball at your perineum. So it's like that little space that's like the little space that's between your vagina and your butthole, basically. Like that skin that's in between. But you place the ball there, and then originally I got like a foam ball, like a foam stress ball, because I didn't know what kind of balls she was using. But the foam ball, like when you sit on it, basically does nothing because you just crush it with your butt. So I ended up ordering, I looked it up, and then there's actually like a ball called like a lacrosse massage ball or something like that. So I ordered that, and it just arrived. I haven't used it yet, but if you're somebody who needs like one of those massage balls, it's called a lacrosse massage ball. I'll leave a link for that too, because I mean, I haven't tried the one I got, so maybe it's horrible, but I'll just leave a link just so you know the name of those balls if you're someone who's trying to stretch your pelvic floor and release tension. Oh, and something else is, what kind of recurring dreams do you have? Reoccurring dreams, recurring dreams, reoccurring dreams. Because I noticed that I have one recurring dream that's happened like all throughout my life, and I had it again yesterday. They're not completely the same, like that weird nightmare I used to have when I was a child, but it would be taking place in a school, and I've been out of school for a long time, so I don't know why the recurring dream is at a school, but it would be like at a school that I don't necessarily recognize. Sometimes it's a mishmash of places I've been to mixed with places I've never seen. You know how dreams are, they're very all over the place, very strange. But anyways, it would be always that I'm in school, and it would be like final exams or something where, or something to do with classes or final exams, and it'll always be like where I'm either late to the class, late to taking the test, or it'll be that I'm lost. So I don't know where. It will be like, oh, my next class is this, but I don't know where the classroom is. And I'll be searching all over the campus trying to look for the class, trying to look for the class. And sometimes I find it in my dream, but it's like too late. And other times I just never find the classroom. And it's just interesting that I keep getting those school dreams. But if you have a recurring dream, or I guess it could be exactly the same dream, or I guess kind of similar to mine, where it's the same theme over and over again. I don't get it all the time, but I get it maybe a few times a year. But if you have a recurring dream, please feel free to share it in the comments because I'm just curious. And if you also have ones like mine where you're like late to school or something, that'll be interesting to hear. Okay, well, I guess that's about all I'm gonna blab about today in this video. So if you listened this far, thanks for listening, and until next time, hope you have a nice week. Bye!